I'm not crying, you're crying. Hey everybody, Ryan Reed here, and I know that I am super late to the review on this one, but I finally just saw Toy Story 4. It's not for lack of wanting to see it. I actually did really want to go see it, but when the movie came out, I wanted to go see it in theaters and just didn't get a chance to. And then, like a few months ago, the movie came out on Blu-ray and DVD, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to see that. Let me grab that, and then just totally forgot. And then back at the beginning of this month, in February, they just put it on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to watch that. And then I finally just watched it at the end of the month. So, for some reason, Toy Story 4 just kept escaping my radar. But I finally did sit down and watch it. Originally, I was a little hesitant about it. I thought that Toy Story 3 definitely kind of wrapped up everything in the best possible way that it could. It was really emotional. I cried a bunch. And look, if you're one of those people out there who's like, hey, you cried at Toy Story? I mean, come on, seriously, A, animation is not just for kids, and B, if there's not one Pixar movie out there that makes you cry, you really should have your heart checked out, because, my God, they are just the masters of making stories with emotional weight to them for all audiences. So yeah, I cried a bunch at Toy Story 3, and I cried a bunch at Toy Story 4. But that being said, I was, hesitant. I was like, Toy Story 3 wrapped everything up perfectly. Did we really need Toy Story 4? And then I saw the teaser trailer for it, and I was like, alright, this is what we're doing. And I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine, it looks good. But then it got really great reviews, and I was like, okay, cool, well, let me check it out. And then, like I said, just kind of didn't get around to it. But I finally did, and I felt like, you know what, this is worth talking about. The movie's ultimately a really great end to the Toy Story, if it is the end. It's a really great end to everything Toy Story, as far as main stories go. I read one review when the movie came out that called it a really great epilogue to the franchise. And I actually think that's the best way to put it. Because, 1 through 3 tells a really solid story, and this does as well, but this is kind of a epilogue. It's what happens after the main story. And what we learn is that there's just as much emotional weight as the other films. If you're not familiar with Toy Story 4, which I don't know how you couldn't be, but if you haven't seen a trailer for it or anything, basically, the basic idea is that the toys now are with a kid named Bonnie, and while she's at her first day at kindergarten, she creates a new friend, a new toy named Forky, who is a spork with, like, googly eyes and pipe cleaner arms and everything like that. And he comes alive, and he doesn't understand why he should be in the trash. He's not a toy, he's trash. And, they go on a journey to kind of, like, figure that out. Now, that's kind of what the trailer presented as, and that is the basic story. But the movie is actually way more than that. It is way more of a Woody story, again, and him dealing with everything. This film, Toy Story 3, hit most people I know pretty hard, because I think everybody can appreciate a story about growing up and change and everything like that. And I mean, we've all experienced that, and so everyone could really get behind that. This movie, I think, is really I think everybody can relate. I think this movie is yet again geared at the audience that has grown up with Toy Story. It's a movie that much more deals with ideas of changing your path and where you need to be, even if it's not where everybody else is, and how you can embrace those things and move past your past and things like that. And it's really, really powerful for a movie about toys and a talking spork. But it's Pixar, and they managed to do an amazing job telling this story. And it is a much smaller story. It's not as epic as some of the other Toy Story films have been. This one is a much more small story. But I have to give it points for so much, for the storytelling, for the emotional weight, for some of the great new characters. Overall, Toy Story 4 is what it needs to be. It's a much more emotional journey, a much more simplistic, but well thought out and well written, close to a franchise that people have grown up with for, my gosh, since 1995, I believe. So that would be 25 years? I mean, that's crazy. So yeah, I was really, really overall incredibly happy with this film, although, like I said, originally I didn't think we needed it, but I was proven wrong. Again, Pixar, they know what they're doing most of the time. Every once in a while they make kind of a bad film or a lesser film. But most of the time, Pixar knows what they're doing, and so Toy Story 4 fits into that perfectly. Of course, the film is beautifully animated. The Toy Story films are kind of a weird time capsule because you can kind of look at each one and see how they've progressed in their animation, and it is a beautifully rendered movie. The emotional weight is really strong, and without spoiling anything, some of the last moments are kind of shared without words, and I think that's a really brave thing for a movie. Again, a movie about toys. We're talking about toys that come to life and what they do, and this movie is really, really emotional. I mean, I'm trying not to spoil anything, so that's why I'm being like so vague and just kind of saying, yeah, it's emotional. But really, I mean, it's hard to talk about because the movie is not exactly what you'd expect, and I think it's really smart. Some of the things I can talk about, I really loved the evolution of Bo Peep as a character. To see her back in the fourth one and see the journey she's gone on, I felt like that was a really, really interesting path and a really great juxtaposition to where Woody was at on his journey at the moment. Like I said, some of the other new characters are really fun. I loved Keanu Reeves' new character, Duke Kaboom. He's like this little, like an Evel Knievel style Daredevil action toy. And my God, he's only in the film for, he doesn't take the spotlight. He's not in the film that much, but my God, every scene that he's in is just so well crafted and hilarious. And Keanu Reeves gives it his all, being Canada's famous stuntman Duke Kaboom. There are a few little things that I felt like the film, I don't want to say was missing, because the film that they delivered hit me in the gut a couple times. I had there were 4 or 5 times I got, teary-eyed, a little emotional in the movie. So the movie's really well done. But some of those things that I did wish we kind of got to see, a lot of the original toys are kind of pushed to the side for some of the newer toys we were introduced to in Toy Story 3. And then those toys are pushed aside to some of these new toys that were introduced to in Toy Story 4. So that was kind of a bummer. I really, especially if this is going to be the end of the franchise, I really would have loved to see some more moments with those toys. And Woody, because this is really Woody's story. He does get to share some moments with Buzz, which is really great, although they do spend a lot of the movie separated as well. Buzz has this kind of running joke story arc where he's, trying to figure out what his inner voice is. And while that is funny, and it works for this movie, it kind of it feels like it almost contradicts things we've seen from the other Toy Story movies. And this kind of felt like, well, we know Buzz can be a leader, so why do we have, but whatever. I mean, it's fine. It works for the movie. It's enjoyable. It's funny. It did feel like they maybe, I'm just trying to remember, this is just more of a question. It felt like they kind of retconned Bo Peep's original story, because I always thought, I mean, this isn't too much of a spoiler because they talk about it very early in the movie, but I always thought she was Andy's toy, but in this movie they make it clear that she came from a lamp from Andy's sister. Which I guess, they never specify in the first Toy Story, if I remember. I think it's just that Andy, plays with all the toys, and Bo Peep is one of them. So it could be that she came from this lamp, and he just had, has her as a toy. But kind of felt like it was a weird, not retcon, but just kind of something we hadn't established before that we kind of understood was oh, these are all Andy's toys, and then to be oh no, she wasn't really Andy's toy, she was Andy's sister's toy. Whatever. It's just, that's kind of me just being nitpicky and being I don't remember that, but whatever. But overall, that said, those are really minor things. Toy Story 4 is a movie that maybe we didn't ultimately need, but I think delivers a really solid emotional wrap-up to everything. Sometimes the strongest emotional stories can happen after our main story, and we kind of get to see where these characters end up and how they change, and this movie delivers on that. It's a solid, entertaining, really, really well put together Pixar film. But again, what do you expect? It's Pixar. They almost always hit it out of the park with their films. But that's my review, my quick little review of Toy Story 4. Basically me just saying, wow, Toy Story 4 was great. Wasn't that really well made? But talk to me. Did you enjoy Toy Story 4? Did you not like Toy Story 4? Did you even see Toy Story 4? Let me know. Talk to me in the comments down below. On top of that, if you want to see more reviews that I've got, you can check out Impromptu Reviews, which are kind of my movie reviews like this off the top of my head. You can check out Fright Films, which is my horror movie review show. You can check out some of my food reviews, all kinds of stuff on the channel. So, as all the YouTubers say, please like this video. Please click that little bell to get notified for future videos. And subscribe if you can. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.